Spoken Realms presents a Mike Vendetti production of The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner, narrated by Kathy Verduin and Mike Vendetti. April 7th, 1928. Through the fence between the curling flower faces, I could see them hitting. They were coming toward where the flag was, and I went along the fence. Luster was hunting in the grass by the flower tree. They took the flag out, and they were hitting. Then they put the flag back, and they went to the table, and he hit, and the other hit. Then they went on, and I went along the fence. Luster came away from the flower tree, and we went along the fence, and they stopped, and we stopped. And I looked through the fence while Luster was hunting in the grass. "Here, Caddy," he hit. They went away across the pasture. I held to the fence and watched them going away. "Listen to you now," Luster said. "Ain't you something 33 years old, going on that way, after I done went all the way to town to buy you that cake? Hush up that morning. Ain't you going to help me find that quarter so I can go to the show tonight?" They were hitting a little across the pasture. I went back along the fence to where the flag was. It flapped on the bright grass and the trees. "Come on," Luster said. "We done looked there. There ain't no more coming right now. Let's go down to the branch and find that quarter before them niggers find it." It was red, flapping on the pasture. Then there was a bird slanting and tilting on it. Luster threw. Flag flapped on the bright grass and the trees. I held the fence. "Shut up that moaning," Luster said. "I can't make them come if they ain't coming, can I? If you don't hush up, Mammy ain't going to have no birthday cake for you. If you don't hush, you know what I's going to do? I'm going to eat that cake all up. Eat them candles, too. Eat all them 33 candles. Come on, let's go down to the branch. I got to find my quarter. Maybe we can find one of their balls. Here it is, way over yonder. See?" He came to the fence and pointed his arm. "See them? They ain't coming back here no more. Come on." We went back along the fence and came to the garden fence where our shadows were. My shadow was higher than Luster's on the fence. We came to the broken place and went through it. "Wait a minute," Luster said. "You snagged on that nail again. Can't you never crawl through there without snagging on that nail?" Caddy uncaught me, and we crawled through.
"Uncle Maury said not to let anybody see us, so we better stoop over,"
Caddy said.
"Stoop over, Benjy, like this, see?"
We stooped over and crossed the garden where the flowers rasped and rattled against us. The ground was hard. We climbed the fence, where the pigs were grunting and snuffing.
"I expect they're sorry because one of them got killed today,"
Caddy said. The ground was hard, churned and knotted.
"Keep your hands in your pockets,"
Caddy said.
"or they'll get froze. You don't want your hands froze on Christmas, do you?"
"It's too cold out there," Burr said. "You don't want to go outdoors."
"What is it now?"
Mother said. "He want to go outdoors," Burr said. "Let him go," Uncle Maury said.
"It's too cold,"
Mother said.
"He'd better stay in. Benjamin, stop that now."
"It won't hurt him," Uncle Maury said.
"You, Benjamin,"
Mother said.
"if you don't be good, you'll have to go to the kitchen."
"Mammy say keep him out of the kitchen today," Marsh said. "She say she got all that cooking to get done." "Let him go, Caroline," Uncle Maury said. "You'll worry yourself sick over him."
"I know it,"
Mother said.
"It's a judgment on me. I sometimes wonder."
I know," Uncle Maury said. You must keep your strength up. I'll make you a toddy.
It just upsets me that much more,
Mother said.
Don't you know it does?
You'll feel better, Uncle Maury said. Wrap him up good, boy, and take him out for a while. Uncle Maury went away. Verse went away.
Please hush.
Mother said.
We're trying to get you out as fast as we can. I don't want you to get sick.
Verse put my overshoes and overcoat on, and we took my cap and went out. Uncle Maury was putting the bottle away in the sideboard in the dining room. Keep him out about half an hour, boy, Uncle Maury said. Keep him in the yard now. Yes, sir, Verse said. We don't never let him get off the place. We went outdoors. The sun was cold and bright. Where you heading for? Verse said. You don't think you're going to town, does you? We went through the rattling leaves. The gate was cold. You better keep them hands in your pockets, Verse said. You get them froze onto that gate, then what you do? Why'd you wait for them in the house? He put my hands in my pockets. I could hear him rattling in the leaves. I could smell the cold. The gate was cold. Here's some hickory nuts. Wee-wee, get up that tree. Look here at that squirrel, Benjy. I couldn't feel the gate at all, but I could smell the bright cold. You better put them hands back in your pockets. Daddy was walking. Then she was running, her book satchel swinging and jousting behind her.
Hello, Benjy,
Caddy said. She opened the gate and came in and stooped down. Caddy smelled like leaves.
Did you come to meet me?
She said.
Did you come to meet Caddy? What did you let him get his hands so cold for, Verse?
I told him to keep his hands in his pockets, Verse said, holding on to that on gate.
Did you come to meet Caddy?
She said, rubbing my hands.
What is it? What are you trying to tell Caddy?
Caddy smelled like trees, and like when she says we were asleep. What are you moaning about? Luster said. You can watch them again when we get to the branch. Here's you a Jimson weed. He gave me the flower. We went through the fence into the lot.
What is it?
Caddy said.
What are you trying to tell Caddy? Did they send him out, Verse?
Couldn't keep him in, Verse said. He kept on until they let him go, and he come right straight down here looking through the gate.
What is it?
Caddy said.
Did you think it would be Christmas when I came home from school? Is that what you thought? Christmas is the day after tomorrow. Santa Claus, Benjy! Santa Claus! Come on, let's run to the house and get warm.
She took my hand, and we ran through the bright rustling leaves. We ran up the steps and out of the bright cold into the dark cold. Uncle Maury was putting the bottle back on the sideboard. He called Caddy. Caddy said,
Take him into the fire, Verse. Go with Verse.
She said.
I'll come in a minute.
We went to the fire. Mother said,
Is he cold, Verse?
No, Verse said.
Take his overcoat and overshoes off.
Mother said.
How many times do I have to tell you not to bring him into the house with his overshoes on?
Yes'm, Verse said. Hold still now. He took my overshoes off and unbuttoned my coat. Caddy said,
Wait, Verse. Can't he go out again, Mother? I want him to go with me.
You better leave him here, Uncle Maury said. He's been out enough today.
I think you'd both better stay in.
Mother said,
It's getting colder, Dilsey says. Oh, Mother.
Caddy said. Nonsense, Uncle Mallory said. She's been in school all day. She needs the fresh air. Run along, Candace.
Let him go, Mother.
Caddy said.
Please, you know he'll cry. Then why did you mention it before him?
Mother said.
Why did you come in here? To give him some excuse to worry me again? You've been out enough today. I think you'd better sit down here and play with him.
Let him go, Caroline, Uncle Mallory said. A little cold won't hurt them. Remember, you've got to keep your strength up.
I know,
Mother said.
Nobody knows how I dread Christmas. Nobody knows. I'm not one of those women who can stand things. I wish for Jason's and the children's sakes I was stronger.
You must do your best you can and not let them worry you, Uncle Mallory said. Run along, you two, but don't stay out long now. Your mother will worry.
Yes, sir,
Caddy said.
Come on, Benjy. We're going outdoors again.
She buttoned up my coat, and we went toward the door.
Are you going to take that baby out without his overshoes?
Mother said.
Do you want to make him sick with a house full of company? I forgot.
Caddy said.
I thought he had them on.
We went back.
You must think.
Mother said. Hold still now, Bert said. He put my overshoes on.
Someday I'll be gone, and you'll have to think for him.
Now stomp, Bert said.
Come here and kiss Mother, Benjamin.
Caddy took me to Mother's chair, and Mother took my face in her hands, and she held me against her.
My poor baby,
she said. She let me go.
You and Versh take good care of him, honey. Yes'm.
Caddy said. We went out. Caddy said.
You needn't go, Versh. I'll keep him for a while.
All right, Versh said. I ain't going out in that coat for no fun. He went on, and we stepped in the hall, and Caddy knelt and put her arms around me and her cold, bright face against mine. She smelled like trees.
You're not a poor baby, are you? You've got your caddy. Haven't you got your caddy?
Can't you shut up that moaning and slobbering? Luster said. Ain't you ashamed of yourself, making all this racket? He passed the carriage house where the carriage was. It had a new wheel.
Get in now and set until your ma come,
Dilsey said. She shoved me into the carriage. T.P. held the reins.
Claire, I don't know how come Jason won't get a new surrey.
Dilsey said.
This thing going to fall to pieces under you all someday. Look at them wheels.
Mother came out pulling her veil down. She had some flowers.
Where's Roscus?
She said.
Roscus can't lift his arms today.
Dilsey said.
T.P. can drive all right. I'm afraid to.
Mother said.
It seems to me you all could furnish me with a driver for the carriage once a week. It's a little enough I ask, Lord knows. You know just as well as me that Roscoe's got the rheumatism too bad to do more than he have to, Miss Carline.
Dilsey said.
You come on and get in now. T.P. can drive you just as good as Roscoe's. I'm afraid to.
Mother said.
With the baby.
Dilsey went up the steps.
You calling that thing a baby?
She said. She took Mother's arms.
A man as big as T.P. Come on now if you going. I'm afraid to.
Mother said. They came down the steps and Dilsey helped Mother in.
Perhaps it'll be the best thing for all of us.
Mother said.
Ain't you shame talking that way?
Dulcie said.
Don't you know it'll take more than an 18-year-old nigger to make Queenie run away? She older than him and Benjy put together. And don't you start no projecting with Queenie, you hear me? TP, if you don't drive to suit Miss Caroline, I going to put Roscus on you. He ain't too tied up to do that.
Yes'm, TP said.
I just know something will happen,
Mother said.
Stop, Benjamin. Give him a flower to hold.
Dulcie said.
That what he wantin'.
She reached her hand in.
No,
Mother said.
You'll have them all scattered. You hold them.
Dulcie said.
I'll get him one out.
She gave me a flower, and her hand went away.
Go on now, for Quentin see you and have to go too.
Dulcie said.
Where is she?
Mother said.
She down the house playing with Luster.
Dulcie said.
Go on, TP, drive that surrey like Roscus told you now.
Yes'm, TP said. Hum up, Queenie.
Quentin,
Mother said.
don't let... Course I is.
Dulcie said. The carriage jolted and crunched down the drive.
I'm afraid to go and leave Quentin.
Mother said.
I'd better not go, TP.
We went through the gate, where it didn't jolt anymore. TP hit Queenie with the whip.
You, TP.
Mother said. Got to get her going, TP said. Keep her wake up till we get back to the barn.
Turn around.
Mother said.
I'm afraid to go and leave Quentin.
Can't turn here, TP said. Then it was broader.
Can you turn here?
Mother said. All right, TP said. We began to turn.
You, TP.
Mother said, clutching me. I got to turn around somehow, TP said. Whoa, Queenie. We stopped.
You'll turn us over.
Mother said. What do you want to do then? TP said.
I'm afraid for you to try to turn around.
Mother said. Get up, Queenie, TP said. We went on.
I just know Dilsey will let something happen to Quentin while I'm gone.
Mother said.
We must hurry back.
Home up there, TP said. He hit Queenie with the whip.
You, TP.
Mother said, clutching me. I could hear Queenie's feet, and the bright shapes went smooth and steady on both sides, the shadows of them flowing across Queenie's back. They went on like the bright tops of wheels. Then those on one side stopped at the tall white post where the soldier was. But on the other side they went on smooth and steady, but a little slower. What do you want? Jason said. He had his hands in his pockets and a pencil behind his ear.
We're going to the cemetery.
Mother said. All right, Jason said. I don't aim to stop you, do I? Was that all you wanted with me, just to tell me that?
I know you won't come.
Mother said.
I'd feel safer if you would.
Said for what? Jason said. Father and Quentin can't hurt you. Mother put her handkerchief under her veil. Stop it, Mother, Jason said. Do you want to get that damn loony to bawling in the middle of this square? Drive on, TP. Hum up, Queenie, TP said.
It's a judgment on me.
Mother said.
But I'll be gone too, soon.
Here, Jason said. Whoa, TP said. Jason said. Uncle Maury's drawing on you for 50. What do you want to do about it?
Why ask me?
Mother said.
I don't have any say-so. I try not to worry you and Dilsey. I'll be gone soon, and then you...
Go on, TP, Jason said. Hum up, Queenie, TP said. The shapes flowed on. The ones on the other side began again, bright and fast and smooth, like when Caddy says we were going to sleep. "Ah, baby," Luster said.
Ain't you shamed? We went through the barn. The stalls were all open. You ain't got no spotted pony to ride now, Luster said. Floor was dry and dusty. The roof was falling. The slanting holes were full of spinning yellow. What do you want to go that way for? You want to get your head knocked off with one of them balls?
Keep your hands in your pockets,
Caddy said.
or they'll be froze. You don't want your hands froze on Christmas, do you?
We went around the barn. The big cow and the little cow were standing in the door, and we could hear Prince and Queenie and Fancy stomping inside the barn.
If it wasn't so cold, we'd ride Fancy.
Caddy said.
But it's too cold to hold on today.
Then we could see the branch where the smoke was blowing.
That's where they are killing the pig.
Caddy said.
We can come back by there and see them.
We went down the hill.
You want to carry the letter?
Caddy said.
You can carry it.
She took the letter out of her pocket and put it in mine.
It's a Christmas present.
Caddy said.
Uncle Maury is going to surprise Mrs. Patterson with it. We got to give it to her without letting anybody see it. Keep your hands in your pockets good now.
We came to the branch.
It's froze.
Caddy said.
Look.
She broke the top of the water and held a piece of it against my face.
Ice. That means how cold it is.
She helped me across, and we went up the hill.
We can't even tell Mother and Father. You know what I think it is? I think it's a surprise for Mother and Father and Mr. Patterson both, because Mr. Patterson sent you some candy. Do you remember when Mr. Patterson sent you some candy last summer?
There was a fence. The vine was dry, and the wind rattled it.
Only I don't see why Uncle Maury didn't send Versh.
Caddy said.
Versh won't tell.
Mrs. Patterson was looking out the window.
You wait here.
Caddy said.
Wait right here now. I'll be back in a minute. Give me the letter.
She took the letter out of my pocket.
Keep your hands in your pockets.
She climbed the fence with the letter in her hand and went through the brown, rattling flowers. Mrs. Patterson came to the door and opened it and stood there. Mr. Patterson was chopping in the green flowers. He stopped chopping and looked at me. Mrs. Patterson came across the garden running. When I saw her eyes, I began to cry.
You idiot!
Mrs. Patterson said.
I told him never to send you alone again. Give it to me.
Mr. Patterson came fast with the hoe. Mrs. Patterson leaned across the fence, reaching her hand. She was trying to climb the fence.
Give it to me,
she said.
Give it to me.
Mr. Patterson climbed the fence. He took the letter. Mrs. Patterson's dress was caught on the fence. I saw her eyes again, and I ran down the hill. There ain't nothing over yonder but houses, Luster said. We going down to the branch. They were washing down at the branch. One of them was singing. I could smell the clothes flapping and the smoke blowing across the branch. You stay down here, Luster said. You ain't got no business up yonder. Them folks hit you sure. What he want to do? He don't know what he wants to do, Luster said. He think he want to go up yonder where they knockin' that ball. You sit down here and play with your Jimson weed. Look at them children playin' in the branch. If you got to look at something, how come you can't behave yourself like folks? I sat down on the bank where they were washing in the smoke-blowing blue. Is you all seen anything of a quarter down here? Luster said. What quarter? The one I had this morning, Luster said. I lost it somewhere. It fell through this here hole in my pocket. If If I can't find it, I can't go to the show tonight." "Where'd you get a quarter, boy? Find it in white folks' pockets while they ain't looking?" "Got it at the getting place," Lester said. "Flame over where that one came from. Only I got to find that one. Is you all found it yet?" "I ain't studying no quarter. I got my own business to tend to." "Come on here," Lester said. "Help me look for it." "He wouldn't know a quarter if he was to see it, would he?" "He can help look just the same," Lester said. "You all going to show tonight?" "Don't talk to me about no show. Time I get done over this here tub, I'll be too tired to lift my hand to do nothing." "I bet you be there," Lester said. "I bet you was there last night. I bet you all be there when that tent opened. Be enough niggers there without me was last night. Nigger money good as white folks, I reckon. White folks give niggers money because no first white man comes along with a band going to get it all back, so nigger can go to work for some more. Ain't nobody make you go to that show. Ain't yet. Ain't thought of it, I reckon. What you got against white folks?" "Ain't got nothing against them. I goes my way and lets the white folk go theirs. I ain't studying that show. Got a man in it can play a tune on a saw, play it like a banjo." "You go last night," Lester said. "I'm going tonight, if I can find where I lost that quarter." "You're going to take him with you, I reckon?" "Me?" Lester said. "You reckon I'd be found anywhere with him time he start bellin'?" "What does you do when he start bellin'?" "I whoops him," Lester said. He sat down and rolled up his overalls. They played in the branch. "You all found any balls yet?" Lester said. "Ain't you talking biggity? I bet you better not let your grandmammy hear you talking like that." Lester got into the branch where they were playing. He hunted in the water along the bank. "I had it when we was down here this morning," Lester said. "Where about you lose it?" "Right out of this here hole in my pocket," Lester said. They hunted in the branch. Then they all stood up quick and stopped. Then they splashed and fought in the branch. Lester got it, and they squatted in the water looking up the hill through the bushes. "Where is they?" Lester said. "Ain't in sight yet." Lester put it in his pocket. They came down the hill. "Did a ball come down here?" "It ought to be in the water. Didn't any of you boys see it or hear it?" "Ain't heard nothing come down here," Lester said. "Heard something hit that tree up yonder. Don't know which way it went." They looked in the branch. "Hell, look along the branch. It came down here. I saw it." They looked along the branch. Then they went back up the hill. "Have you got that ball?" the boy said. "What I want with it?" Lester said. "I ain't seen no ball." The boy got in the water. He went on. He turned and looked at Lester again. He went on down the branch. The man said, "Caddy, up the hill." The boy got out of the water and went up the hill. "Now, just listen at you," Lester said. "Hush up." "What he moan about now?" "Lord knows," Lester said. "He just starts like that. He been at it all morning, 'cause it's his birthday, I reckon." "How old is he?" "He 33, Lester said. 33 this morning." "You mean he been 3 years old 30 years?" "I'm going by what Mammy say," Lester said. "I don't know. We're going to have 33 candles on a cake anyway. Little cake. Won't hardly hold them. Hush up. Come on back here." He came and caught my arm. "You old loony," he said. "You want me to whoop you?" "I'll bet you will." "I just done it. Hush now," Luster said. "Ain't I told you you can't go up there? They'll knock your head clean off with one of them balls. Come on here." He pulled me back. "Sit down." I sat down, and he took off my shoes and rolled up my trousers. "Now, get in that water and play, and you can stop that slobbering and moaning." I hushed and got in the water, and Roscus came and said to come to supper, and Caddy said,
"It's not supper time yet. I'm not going."
She was wet. We were playing in the branch, and Caddy squatted down and got her dress wet. And Verse said, "Your mammy going to whip you for getting your dress wet."
"She's not going to do any such thing."
Caddy said. "How do you know?" Quentin said.
"That's all right how I know."
Caddy said.
"How do you know?"
"She said she was," Quentin said. "Besides, I'm older than you."
"I'm 7 years old."
Caddy said.
"And I guess I know."
"I'm older than that," Quentin said. "I go to school, don't I, Verse?"
"I'm going to school next year."
Caddy said.
"When it comes, ain't I, Verse?"
"You know she whip you when you get your dress wet," Verse said.
"It's not wet."
Caddy said. She stood up in the water and looked at her dress.
"I'll take it off."
She said.
"Then it'll dry."
"I bet you it won't," Quentin said.
"I bet it will."
Caddy said. "I bet you better not," Quentin said. Caddy came to Verse and me and turned her back.
"Unbutton it, Verse."
She said. "Don't you do it, Verse," Quentin said. "'Tain't none of my dress," Verse said.
"You unbutton it, Verse."
Caddy said.
"Or I'll tell Dilsey what you did yesterday."
So Verse unbuttoned it. "You just take your dress off," Quentin said. Caddy took her dress off and threw it on the bank. Then she didn't have on anything but her bodice and drawers, and Quentin slapped her, and she slipped and fell in the water. When she got up, she began to splash water on Quentin, and Quentin splashed water on Caddy. Some of it splashed on Verse and me, and Verse picked me up and put me on the bank. He said he was going to tell on Caddy and Quentin, and then Quentin and Caddy began to splash water at Verse. He got behind a bush. "I'm going to tell Mammy on you all," Verse said. Quentin climbed up the bank and tried to catch Verse, but Verse ran away, and Quentin couldn't. When Quentin came back, Verse stopped and hollered that he was going to tell. Caddy told him that if he wouldn't tell, they'd let him come back. So Verse said he wouldn't, and they let him. "Now I guess you're satisfied," Quentin said. "We'll both get whooped now."
"I don't care."
Caddy said. "Yes, you will," Quentin said.
"I'll run away and never come back."
Caddy said. I began to cry. Caddy turned around and said,
"Hush."
So I hushed. Then they played in the branch. Jason was playing too. He was by himself further down the branch. Verse came around the bush and lifted me down into the water again. Caddy was all wet and muddy behind, and I started to cry, and she came and squatted in the water.
"Hush now,"
she said.
"I'm not going to run away."
So I hushed. Caddy smelled like trees in the rain. "What is the matter with you?" Luster said. "Can't you get done with that moaning and play in the branch like folks? Why don't you take him on home? Don't they told you not to take him off the place? He still think they own this pasture," Luster said. "Can't nobody see down here from the house, no ways." "We can, and folks don't like to look at a loony. 'Tain't no luck in it." Ruscus came and said to come to supper, and Caddy said it wasn't supper time yet. "Yes, 'tis," Ruscus said. "Dilsey say you all come on to the house. Bring them on, Verse. He went up the hill where the cows was lowing. "Maybe we'll be dry by the time we get to the house," Quentin said.
It was all your fault,
Caddy said.
I hope we do get whipped.
She put on her dress, and Birch buttoned it. "They won't know you got wet," Birch said. "It don't show on you, 'less me and Jason tells."
Are you going to tell Jason?
Caddy said. "Tell on who?" Jason said. "He won't tell," Quentin said. "Will you, Jason?"
I bet he does tell.
Caddy said.
He'll tell DeMuddy.
"He can't tell her," Quentin said. "She's sick. If we walk slow, it'll be too dark for them to see."
I don't care whether they see or not.
Caddy said.
I'm going to tell myself. You carry him up the hill, Verge.
"Jason won't tell," Quentin said. "You remember that bow and arrow I made you, Jason?" "It's broke now," Jason said.
Let him tell.
Caddy said.
I don't give a cuss. Carry Maury up the hill, Verge.
Birch squatted and I got on his back. "See you all at the show tonight," Lester said. "Come on here. We got to find that quarter." "If we go slow, it'll be dark when we get there," Quentin said.
I'm not going slow.
Caddy said. We went up the hill, but Quentin didn't come. He was down at the branch when we got to where we could smell the pigs. They were grunting and snuffing in the trough in the corner. Jason came behind us, with his hands in his pockets. Roscus was milking the cow in the barn door. The cows came jumping out of the barn. "Go on," T.P. said. "Holler again." "I'm going to holler myself. Whee!" Quentin kicked T.P. again. He kicked T.P. into the trough where the pigs ate, and T.P. lay there. "Hot dogs," T.P. said. "Didn't he get me then? You see that white man kick me that time? Woo-wee!" I wasn't crying, but I couldn't stop. I wasn't crying, but the ground wasn't still. And then I was crying. The ground kept sloping up, and the cows ran up the hill. T.P. tried to get up. He fell down again, and the cows ran down the hill. Quentin held my arm, and we went toward the barn. Then the barn wasn't there, and we had to wait until it came back. I didn't see it come back. It came behind us, and Quentin set me down in the trough where the cows ate. I held on to it. It was going away too, and I held to it. Cows ran down the hill again, across the door. I couldn't stop. Quentin and T.P. came up the hill fighting. T.P. was falling down the hill, and Quentin dragged him up the hill. Quentin hit T.P. I couldn't stop. "Stand up," Quentin said. "You stay right here. Don't you go away till I get back. Me and Benjy going back to the wedding." T.P. said, "Whee!" Quentin hit T.P. again. Then he began to thump T.P. against the wall. T.P. was laughing. Every time Quentin thumped him against the wall, he tried to say wooey, but he couldn't say it for laughing. I quit crying, but I couldn't stop. T.P. fell on me, and the barn door went away. It went down the hill, and T.P. was fighting by himself. He fell down again. He was still laughing, and I couldn't stop. And I tried to get up, and I fell down, and I couldn't stop. Birch said, "You sure done it now. I'll declare if you ain't. Shut up that yelling." T.P. was still laughing. He flopped on the door and laughed. "Woo-wee," he said. "Me and Benjy going back to the wedding. Sarsaparilla." T.P. said. Hush, Birch said. Where you get it? Out the cellar? T.P. said. Woo-wee. Hush up, Birch said. Whereabouts in the cellar? Anywhere, T.P. said. He laughed some more. More'n 100 bottles left. More'n 1,000,000. Look out, nigger. I'm going to holler. Quentin said, lift him up. Birch lifted me up. Drink this, Benjy, Quentin said. The glass was hot. Hush now, Quentin said. Drink it. Sarsaparilla, T.P. said. Let me drink it, Mr. Quentin. You shut your mouth, Birch said. Mr. Quentin, where are you out? Hold him, Birch, Quentin said. They held me. It was hot on my chin and hot on my shirt. Drink, Quentin said. They held my head. It was hot inside me, and I began again. I was crying now, and something was happening inside me, and I cried more, and they held me until it stopped happening. Then I hushed. It was still going around, and then the shapes began. Open the crib, Birch. They were going slow. Spread those empty sacks on the floor. They were going faster, almost fast enough. Now, pick up his feet. They went on, smooth and bright. I could hear T.P. laughing. I went on with them up the bright hill. At the top of the hill, Birch put me down. Come on here, Quentin, he called, looking back down the hill. Quentin was still standing there by the branch. He was chunking into the shadows where the branch was.
Let the old skizzard stay there,
Caddy said. She took my hand, and we went past the barn and through the gate. There was a frog on the brick walk, squatting in the middle of it. Caddy stepped over it and pulled me on.
Come on, Maury,
she said. It still squatted there until Jason poked it with his toe. He'll make a wart on you, Barsh said. The frog hopped away.
Come on, Maury,
Caddy said. They got company tonight, Barsh said.
How do you know?
Caddy said. With all them lights on, Barsh said. Light in every window.
I reckon we can turn all the lights on without company if we want to,
Caddy said. I bet it's company, Birch said. You all better go in the back and slip upstairs.
I don't care.
Caddy said.
I'll walk right in the parlor where they are.
I'll bet your pappy'll whip you if you do, Birch said.
I don't care.
Caddy said.
I'll walk right in the parlor. I'll walk right in the dining room and eat supper.
Where you sit, Barsh said.
I'd sit in Dumuddy's chair.
Caddy said.
She eats in bed.